This week in games, let's talk about that Xbox Game Pass price hike. The Switch is now Nintendo's longest running console, Halo rumors swirling, and a canceled Crash Bandicoot 5 game. This is the Two Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 208. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hello, and welcome to the news today. It's been a very eventful past weekend, seeing as how the former president, current running candidate...
Jeez. Oh, we're going to talk about this here, yeah?
Come on. It happened 2 days ago.
Yeah. Well, someone tried to give him a little... Someone tried to hit him with a Nerf dart, we'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where someone took one.
Someone behind him
hard,
took that Nerf dart real bad.
And
Rest in peace.
It's been single-handedly the most funny couple days in all of... I follow politics very heavily. It's been so funny. Just seeing everyone immediately go to jokes. Like, there was a time where this would have been met with, like shock and awe, and people didn't know what to think. Now, people instantly took to making shirts, making keychains. The most important one, I said, was a keychain that was of JFK. It was Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister of Japan that was assassinated, with a keychain through a hole in his chest where he had gotten shot, linking to one of JFK with one in his head where he was shot, and another one on Donald Trump in his ear where he was shot. So that's the market, baby. It keeps on churning out product.
There's just so many thoughts. There's so many different directions I could take.
So
that,
many.
But I'm going to choose not to for the sake of my own mental health. What are we doing here? This is, of course, your weekly... I hate you so much.
Oh, you... Now, when you do the video and you do your hashtags and whatnot, put Trump in there.
I don't want
to.
And it's going to invite people I don't want to be here.
Oh, Tavin. You want engagement is what you want, and you know that's what
it
you
is.
want.
I get plenty of that on my own, thank you.
And you're about to get more. Hey, I'll respond to the comments. I'll use political brain. I'll turn that on.
You don't even click on the videos, let alone get to drop a comment on them.
I do click on the videos, certain ones that I need for when I edit my stuff. But aside from that, if I'm going to discuss the politics of YouTube commenters, I'll do it. I'll talk with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with two topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Just yeah. What a week.
Slow week for video game news.
Video game news, not super busy. Couple things popping up, so we're very interested, very excited to talk about those things, but...
Isn't that what you were just referring to?
Huh?
The lack of news? Your exasperation.
Yeah. I'm just upset that there's not more to talk about, Connor. There's so little to talk about in the world today. Yeah. Let me go on a little rant here, Connor. Let me go on just a tiny rant real quick, all right? Spider-Man 2. It released last year, Connor. We both played it. We both liked it. I liked it more than you did, but we both liked it. Yeah? Yeah. It came out. We did our review. I gave it my rating. I said it was a masterpiece in terms of the subgenre of comic book video game or superhero video games. Like, what more could you want out of this genre than what Spider-Man 2 has to offer? And the internet just nitpicked that game to death. Just like they were mad that you couldn't change the time of day.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Hey, Elden Ring has it. Just saying.
Anyways, so nitpick the game to death, and now the conversation I see online is that game came out rushed, underbaked, and without content. I don't believe that to be true for a minute. I believe it's a 20+ hour long video game, open world video game with a great story, looks great, plays great, runs very, very well. And I think it and it's got the best traversal system in any video game ever. Name one better. Name one.
Elden Ring.
No.
Torrent. Best mountain gaming.
That's an argument you can have. That's an argument.
It allows you to explore the nooks and crannies of content that Elden Ring has that Spider-Man doesn't have.
Spider-Man doesn't have content, is what you're saying?
It has content. It's just nothing. It doesn't require, like, what's the word? Precision.
Anyways. What?
Like precision. You're going into all the nooks and crannies and platforming a little bit just to get to that sweet spot. Maybe it'll have an item. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be a new area.
I didn't even get to talk about it on the Piggy Bank. By the way, Piggy Bank comes out every Saturday. Check that out. I rant about Kingdom Hearts. I didn't even get to talk about how terrible the platforming in Kingdom Hearts is.
I imagine it is pretty bad.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
It's some of the worst ever.
Why would they have it platforming in an action RPG?
I got a lot of questions about why would they do anything when it comes to that game. I'm going to continue playing, though.
Okay.
I might put it on pause, actually, because I feel like Phil might make it his Game Club game.
I'm surprised he didn't do it
the first time.
One. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad he did Pokemon, though.
Yeah.
That was a great experience.
Yeah.
That was a great experience. Anyways, Spider-Man 2 started playing my new game Plus, and I got hooked, man. I'm near the end of the game now, and this game is every bit as fantastic as I thought it was when I first played it. And I don't know why I let the internet get to me and dampen my perspective on that game. That game is fucking awesome.
I don't know either.
I so rarely let the internet control my opinions about anything, but for some reason I let them control my opinions about that.
Maybe it's because they were right.
No, they're not. I'm playing it right now. It's a fucking phenomenal video game. Is it like greatest of all time? No. But can any of these games hit greatest of all time? I don't think they can.
Any of these games being
like comic book superhero type stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know?
Not with how it's been.
Yeah, like I mean, the formula's been set, you know, and
For now.
it's a winning formula, and I think that's as good as the formula can get. It's like a Marvel movie. Like, can a Marvel movie ever be greatest of all time? Not likely, you know. But I'm not saying it'll never happen. It doesn't dampen my excitement for, say, a Wolverine or the next Batman game that's probably going to come out, or the Wonder Woman game.
Oh yeah, that was happening.
Yeah. Instead of getting another Lord of the Rings game from that studio, Connor, you're getting Wonder Woman. Aren't you excited?
You know what the funniest thing is?
Yeah.
I have a lot of polls and stuff come up on my YouTube feed for comic books. Like a lot of shorts. Like, here's this thing that happened in comic books.
Why?
I don't know. Sometimes I'll watch them, and I think I feed into it.
You are, well, if you're clicking on them, you are feeding into it.
Yeah, but the other thing is polls. A lot of polls. And they're the most, like, milquetoast cookie cutter polls. Like, who is your favorite DC character?
Yeah.
Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman. I consistently like Wonder Woman the most out of Batman, Superman, the Flash. I find her aesthetic of the Amazonian warrior way cooler.
You like the stars and stripes panties, don't you?
No, actually, it's not even the outfit. It's the tools at her disposal. I like swords. The lasso's pretty cool. I like Greek mythology and Greek history.
You ever play Injustice?
I did. The first one, first and second one, but not like extensively.
Oh, okay.
That was before I got into fighting games as well. So I wonder what my opinions would be now.
I liked the first one a lot. I never played the second one.
Which
at that point, I was like, fighting games, you know. But I would definitely jump in and have fun with that now.
It's on the list.
Is it?
It is.
Oh,
it was. I think you put it there.
Probably.
Yeah.
They're good games.
We'll find out at some point.
They got goofy stories, but you know,
comic books,
fighting games, and comic books. You know, we gotta make these two characters fight each other. Why? I don't know. One stepped on the other guy's sandwich or something.
It's funny you mentioned that because there was a recent like video people were like circulating on my weird corner of like Twitter, and it was those interactions, those clashes people have. In the first one, it would be like a gambling system. I don't know how it works. Two characters would clash. You do an input, and you would win over the other person or whatnot. But they would say some kind of line before they charged in and did their little betting thing. And there was a interaction between Lex Luthor and Hawkgirl where, like, what does Lex Luthor say? He's like, "You look like a chicken," and she says, "You look like an egg." It's just a very funny, like, dry interaction between the two.
I don't know if that's the actual interaction they had, but that's a fucking funny.
That's literally what they said. I saw it. It was
really?
You look like an egg.
You look like an egg.
Yeah,
That's
he's like in his
fucking
big
funny.
outfit. bald head.
Yeah. That's good. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can get this podcast and all of our other podcasts over at youtube.com/@TwoPennyGames and mainstream podcast services of your choice. You can find this one specifically every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow for more. Links in the description to all of our social medias and our TikTok. Make sure you follow us over there. And make sure you drop a comment down below either about today's stories or some stories that maybe we missed, didn't have time to cover, or just an evergreen topic of conversation you would like us to have. We would, of course, would love to incorporate a 2 pennies portion of the podcast. Speaking of which, Connor, I've had some ideas percolating, and I haven't talked to you about this, but I gotta capitalize on those, flesh out those ideas. I got some ideas.
Do you now?
I do. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, did I miss something in the rigmarole? Oh, Twitch.
Don't ask me.
Hey, you can watch us live, twitch.tv/2pennygames every Monday afternoon, where we record all of our podcasts. That includes the one you're listening/watching right now, and the Piggy Bank, our casual gaming podcast, the Game Club, or just any reviews will all be streamed live, twitch.tv/2pennygames. Make sure you follow us over there. Connor, just go ahead and move right into our first topic of the day, my friend. You know, this is some... probably our most meaningful topic is this first one. So let's definitely let's get into that. It's going to be my first penny of the day. Take your time code. Take your time code.
I'm going to be obstinate now.
Excuse me?
I'm going to be obstinate now.
Obstinate?
Yeah. Like, stubborn.
Take your fucking time code.
The funny thing was I was going to, and it's like, I got to lock down. I'm going to mess with Tavin, and then I forgot it. I remember it now.
Xbox Game Pass to increase price limit day one releases to most expensive tier. This is from Variety.com by Jennifer Maas, M-A-A-S. Microsoft Gaming is increasing the price of its subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, across multiple tiers worldwide and simultaneously limiting its day one releases to only the most expensive version of the offering. As of Wednesday, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate level will raise its price by $3 per month in the US, going from $16.99 to $19.99 for new customers. The core tier will raise from $59.99 for the 12-month pass to $69.99 for the annual fee. So that's a $10 increase for the annual fee for the core subscription. Beginning September 12th, the price will change for existing members on their next recurring billing charge. A new Game Pass standard plan will be launching soon per Xbox, offering more features than cores, but fewer than the Ultimate tier. For PC, new users will now pay $11.99 per month for Xbox Game Pass access, an increase from the previous price at $9.99. While Game Pass for console will no longer be available for new members. What? While Game Pass for console will no longer be available for new members, those who are already subscribed and have autopay enabled will continue to have access. Along with these price changes, Xbox has decided to only include day one releases of its upcoming games, including Call of Duty Black Ops 6 with its Ultimate plan. Other features limited to the tier include EA Play membership, cloud gaming on multiple devices, and free monthly perks from Microsoft. The Ultimate and Standard versions will both offer hundreds of games, while Core will only have 25 titles per Xbox. Microsoft Gaming's decision to increase the price for Game Pass and limit the features of its cheaper plans comes on the heels of Xbox Game Showcase in June, where it revealed several upcoming games and a big push to get those new games to Game Pass subscribers on release day. Last week, Xbox Live outage, and this week's launch of the Xbox app on some Amazon Fire TV devices. So, something we kind of expected to happen has happened. Xbox Game Pass has had a price raise. To recap that again, Ultimate is going from basically $17 a month to $20 a month, and Core, or the most basic tier of Game Pass on console, will raise from $60 a year to $70 a year for their 12-month thing. And PC is going from $9.99 to $11.99. The article does not make clear here, Connor. Does Xbox PC Game Pass PC still get day one titles, or I would assume it does.
I would think so.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
This is a continuing trend of what we've seen for a while now. It really began with the increase of games to $60 to $70. Of course, there were rationalizations given for that, not really good ones. Now, we also recently had the increase in the PlayStation Plus subscription, a system that is kind of outdated in a couple of senses, particularly in the ability to play online games with places like Steam just allowing you to do that for free. And now we're seeing it with Xbox Games Pass. Now, this one's the most reasonable, I would say, part and due to the fact that it's a small increase for most people. I mean, I don't know how many people are a part of each tier. I'm assuming a lot of people do the PC Game Pass since, it's kind of the easiest way for PC players to play Xbox games and at an affordable cost.
My understanding is that is the lowest subscribed tier.
Okay.
Most Game Pass subscribers are on console.
Okay. Well, it's not a substantial price increase on its own, and they've kind of shifted a lot of their focus to being on Game Pass.
From Eurogamer, PC Game Pass will continue to get day one game.
Okay. Because their console sales have been pretty bad. They definitely aren't really matching up to the PlayStation, but I believe they're also lower compared to what they were. We talked about this recently. Lower to what they were by this point in the Xbox One's life cycle. And so it makes sense that they're trying to bolster up the thing that's gaining them the most money, or at least is the most assured way to, having people consistently pay you money every single month to play games. But I worry about the future because it's $3 right now, and next time it might be $3 again. Maybe it'll be $5. I don't really know. I think that'll be very compared. It'll go up alongside the desperation of Xbox to continue to put all of their eggs in the Game Pass basket, since their position as a console maker going into the next generation, whenever that is a little bit shaky, with PlayStation having such a lockdown on things on that particular side of the market, Switch obviously having their own side of things, being Nintendo. So it's not the worst story as far as price hikes go, but it's kind of annoying to constantly see it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is a reasonable price hike.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a couple more dollars. It's nothing crazy, especially when you compare it to how Netflix has been charging for their services and the other streaming services, how they've all been going up. Everything's going up. And for what is offered on Game Pass, I still think this is still a fantastic deal. I mean, for PC gamers, $13 a month, and you get to play all Xbox titles day one. That's still crazy. That's still an insane deal, alongside hundreds of other games, including different tiered systems, having a rotating 25 to probably like 40 or something like that games for their most basic tier is okay. It's where you start kind of getting a little iffy on that, and then restricting your day one things. One, I think that's a good choice for Xbox. I think it was probably too good of a deal for console players. They needed to make Ultimate Tier sweeter, and that's how you do it. It's unfortunate now because we lived in a time where that wasn't the case, but this is what it is. They need you to either A, buy the game, or B, subscribe to a higher tier of Game Pass. I think that makes sense. If this is what Xbox wants to do in order to save employees and cut down on layoffs, then fine, do it. Do I particularly care for it or like it? No. Is there other routes I wish they would take? Yes. But which we have all discussed at length multiple times on this podcast before. But I think this is reasonable. It sucks. Nobody likes to be charged more, but this is reasonable. I think the reaction online has been, of course, vitriolic, and I think that has been so unnecessary. I think people have unreasonable hate towards Xbox. I think Xbox as a platform gets a lot of criticism or a lot of just negative. There's a lot of negative conversation going around the platform, and I don't think it's deserved 100%. Not for things like this. When they lay off 1,000 employees at a time, multiple times, within a 3 to 5 year span of time, yeah, that's a reason to be like, this platform is not great. But a $3 increase per month. Yeah, it's a $3 increase per month. So, that's $36 more a year that you're spending. But I still think it's one of the best deals in gaming, and I still think it's a great deal. I think if you're playing on an Xbox or on an Xbox platform at all, and you're not taking advantage of that deal, you're insane. I do think there's a conversation to be had that Game Pass is cheapening the public's perception of how much a video game should cost, because games are worth money. Spoilers, everybody, they're expensive to make, and a lot of people work really hard on them, so you should probably spend money on it. I've gotten to the point to where I feel like I've yet to do it. I talked about it when they had their last big rounds of layoffs, but I continue to feel like I'm going to cancel my Game Pass subscription and just buy the games, because I think it's just a more direct way to just support the studios I want, and to give Xbox a clearer indication of, hey, I like this. I want this to continue. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a little bit of call B.
Yeah. We'll just have to see how the industry increases prices going forward, since I don't think it's going to be stopping. I think you're constantly going to have the greed motive push these things further and further and further. Even though, you're right, the story itself, especially when you compare it to streaming services like Hulu and Netflix, way better.
It's completely, if prices have to go up, this is completely reasonable.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think this is too crazy at all. I speak as someone who, within this industry, I feel like a lot of the pundits, a lot of the talking heads kind of lose sight on what $70 means and how much that costs and what that could be. Now, maybe I've kind of lost sight on that, but I've never been given a game code yet. I still buy all my video games, for the most part, or I'm subscribed to a service that allows me to have it, So, it's a cost for me, but it's also my main hobby. It's the main thing I do. It's what I put the majority of my money to outside of bills. And the girlfriend. But I've never felt that you talk a lot about the price increase from 60 to 70. I felt like that was long overdue. It sucks. Nobody likes it, but what's $10 more,
$10 more.
So
meal.
You ain't got $10.
Much?
You don't have $10.
I have $10. Do I want to spend it on an unnecessary increase to a price of a game? No, I do not want to spend it.
I don't think it's unnecessary.
I think it is. I think when you're talking about we've talked about this a lot. But the gaming industry makes so much money.
It does.
Any issue they have with not making enough is entirely on them, not on the consumer. Especially with the growth of the video game industry.
Yes.
Even here now.
I mean, we've talked about this at length, and my perspective on it has evolved a little bit. I do think it's fine if you want to increase prices. It's fine if you want to charge more. It's fine if you want to bring up the increase to subscriptions and all this. But you can't also have record-breaking sales, fastest selling games of all time, more money than we've ever made before, bringing the company up to a X number in the stock market, XYZ, and then lay off hundreds of workers. You can't do both of those things. I'm okay with the game going from 60 to 70. And it's been at 70 so long, baby, get over it, Connor.
No.
And it's been at 70, and I've also been a big proponent of, let's explore the scale. Not every game needs to be 70 or 40 or 50. Some games can just be 20, and that's okay. Some games can just be 30, and that's okay. I think it's ridiculous when Nintendo charges us $60 for an HD version of a GameCube game. That's silly. Or when they charge us $60 for Skyward Sword. That's silly. But my main thing about it is should the onus be on the consumer for them not making enough money? No. But again, we agree on it always goes back to corporate greed. The corporate greed is out of hand, especially in Western-based companies, that aren't, or just companies that aren't named Nintendo, really.
Chewing the bone.
Okay, good. Yeah, I heard the chewing. I just wanted to make sure. I got a puppy. She's 5 months old, teething. I just want to make sure she's chewing on the things she's supposed to be chewing on. She's been really good about that. She's been really good. Outside of the little chewing on the couch, she's been great.
Yeah.
Anyways, the corporate greed is out of hand, and something needs to be done about that. People need to take huge pay cuts and things like that. We talked about it. I think it was last week. We talked about how Miyamoto only makes like $1.7 million a year.
It was.
That's what Bobby Kotick was making daily. That's ridiculous when you think about it that way. So, again, I'm fine with the price increases if you need to have them. The problem is that arguably you don't need to have them because there's 1 or 2 or 12 people at a 100-person at a 500-person company who's eating up all the money. That's where all the money's going. So maybe let's diversify that a little bit because, again, I'm okay with the 70. I'm okay with the price increase to Game Pass if it means devs get to keep their jobs. The problem is that they're not keeping their jobs. So we need to do something about that. And the answer is not charge us more.
Yeah. Key issue, last I'll say, is that was like the pillar of their reasoning for raising games, and then immediately you saw layoffs really start happening. So it makes me, any other argument that can be made from game companies as to why the increase happened is going to sound bullshit.
I mean, yeah, they're saying these things and then doing another thing. They're lying to us, undeniably. Yeah. They're lying to us is what's happening here. But, what else is new in America?
We just gotta kill them. Not actually. That's a reference. Hey, you're not gonna hear me actually advocate for that. Anybody that gets the joke gets it.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our second topic of the day. I'm going to go ahead. What were our other stories today? Nope, Connor, I'm going to make this one yours.
I was hoping it would be.
It's yours.
I love talking about IGN article. Switch, now longest running Nintendo console without being replaced. Super. This is from Ryan Dinsdale. The Nintendo Switch is now the longest running Nintendo home console ever, after overtaking the Nintendo Entertainment System's record without being replaced.
It was the NES?
Yeah, right? I didn't expect that.
What?
Hey, that's why it's talked about for so much, I guess.
Jesus.
Went on for the longest time.
That's insane.
Yeah. As reported by VGC, the Nintendo Switch has now lasted 2,688 days, that's 7 years, 4 months, 1 week, and 6 days, without being replaced by a next-generation console. A touch more than the NES's 2,686 days. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System then arrived to overtake it. But with Nintendo Switch's successor still a while away, the current console will seemingly hold a solid new record. This is further evidenced by the myriad titles coming to Nintendo Switch in the next year, including The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Super Mario Party, Jamboree, Mario and Luigi, Brothership, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Pokemon Legends Z through A, and more. Good on Nintendo. They broke a record.
Hey, cool. This is 100% because of what happened in the pandemic. This is 100% Animal Crossing exploding the way it did because of the pandemic. And so, yeah, we 100% would have the Switch 2 or the Switch successor by now, if not. Hello,
taking a little trip
my
on.
Sweet girl.
Wants to be in the camera.
How are you?
You can't get up that much.
Are we not paying enough attention to you?
Oh, I think she wants to shit or
I
piss.
think she wants to shit too, Connor. So, yeah. You want to go? Do you want attention or do you want to go potty? Yep. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna put on pause there, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second.
Sometimes pauses must happen.
All right. That's a punch in.
Yep.
Here we go. We are back. Dog has pooped and peed. So good job, Ahsoka, letting me know. Good girl. Anyways,
trouble.
She's been real good last couple of days. She's been real good. I think we're good. We're getting close on the potty training.
Yeah.
Switch has been the longest running Nintendo console unbroken by any extra release. This is, of course, as we already said, probably due to the pandemic and the success of late game titles such as Animal Crossing, Tears of the Kingdom, et cetera. And we still have a little bit more of that Switch catalog to clear out before we get to the next title, Metroid Prime 4, seemingly to be the first cross-generational title, probably also met alongside a 3D Mario of some kind. I don't think this will ever really happen again, at least probably not for another 20, 30 years.
No. Especially with how PlayStation and Microsoft seem to be doing their consoles, which is, having them around for 7 years, 6 years?
Yeah, 7 years is usually about the average, I want to say.
Yeah.
6-7 years, usually about the average for things like that. PlayStation and Xbox have been, ever since last generation, doing things like a mid-generation refresh, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the Xbox One S, One X.
Dumb naming conventions.
Yeah, really bad naming conventions over there on the Xbox side. I forget exactly how that all played out. And then, of course, the PS5, the Xbox Series consoles. There's rumors that we're getting another mid-generation refresh of Xbox and PlayStation. A PlayStation 5 Pro is in development, all but assuredly. And so, yeah, we're getting a Switch 2 probably next year. And I'm excited for it. And there's plenty of reasons to be excited for it. But I mean, what a run Nintendo has had with the Switch. I mean, this is just an opportunity to talk about that. From the jump, they nailed it, and they've continued to nail it the entire generation. Sure, there's been a year or two where I didn't really pick up my Switch that much, but there's always something to play, and they've done pretty well putting out something pretty much every month. Whether it's on the indie side or the major release side, they got something for the Switch base to play more often than not. Now, is that type of game going to appeal to everybody? No. Is a lot of them like farming games or weird anime games? Yes. But when they do come out and have bangers, it's a banger. It's undeniably generational improvement. You look at both of the Zelda games. Even though I have my personal opinions about Breath of the Wild, you look at what Mario has done this generation through Mario Wonder and Mario Odyssey, both fantastic games. Mario Party coming back into the limelight and kind of catching its groove again. Mario Kart continuing to strive off of the success of Mario Kart 8. And you've never seen Nintendo engage with something like a season pass like they have this generation. And I think for the most part, that's all been successful. Smash Brothers Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe both were examples of games on the Nintendo platform, and Splatoon 3 of games on the Nintendo platform that had life after release. Something you didn't really see a whole lot out of Nintendo titles prior to the Switch.
Yeah, I remember the days of the Wii where they were having like Call of Duty on there, and they weren't doing it then either. And I was like, they totally should. Why are we not getting online stuff from them? Probably for the best, considering the console. But
Nintendo's Nintendo.
It is, but it's New World now, so that just makes sense to tap into that market if the game calls for it.
Yeah,
they kind of seem to have the fact that, hey, we're going to make single player games. That's what we've always done. It's what we're going to keep doing. Because Nintendo...
I mean, but even their multiplayer offering, Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, those are bangers.
They are, but as they're in the general catalog, those aren't the bulk of the games there. So they may not be so comfortable diving even more into it, besides just dipping their toes into it, as they've done.
I also really like... I mean, neither of us really subscribe to it, but Nintendo's online infrastructure or plans, like their subscription services over there, I think are really cool. And it's one of those things that I think they had one price increase because they added the I forget the name of it, but like the super cool tier where you get all the online expansion pass stuff, where you get the N64 and the NES and the SNES and all those things. That was one that was like, hey, we're increasing value early, but it's the only time we're really going to do it. And then we're just going to continue to add value to it. And that's what they've done, is they've continued to add value to their subscription service. So yeah, I mean, debatably, if you look at the landscape, that Nintendo one has turned into one of the better valued subscription services out there. I mean, there's ups and downs to all of them. But I think Game Pass is probably the best value. And then it's a conversation you have to have with yourself about PlayStation Plus versus the Nintendo Switch Online. They both come with different stuff.
They do.
Now, if you want an actual multiplayer experience, of course, PlayStation is a better experience to play online with. But
even better is PC, because you don't have to pay a subscription.
Yeah, but the games work on console, so there's a big difference there.
Yeah, but did you not know they do on PC as well?
Do they really, Connor? Because I just tried to play a game this last week and it didn't work, and I had to go to 4 or 5 different forums to try to get the game to work, only for it to not work, and we had to find a different means of me playing that video game.
Maybe something connected to what Karg87 said. Maybe. I'm not confirming that. But, I mean, I booted up a game that's pretty old called Might and Magic Dark Messiah, and it didn't have any issues.
You know what's funny? That's the game I'm talking about, Connor, where I booted it up and it didn't fucking work.
What?
I know.
Well, you're going to...
right? Yeah, Dark Messiah, Might and Magic, yeah.
Yeah. What, you confused it for an action?
You said the title backwards, so I got confused.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, funny how that works. And my machine is newer than yours. It's got better shit.
Oh, this doesn't mean better. Do you think the M16's better than
PC gaming?
Better than the other modern gun that's newer than an M16? I don't even think M16s are that great. I think they're just the standard issue.
I don't know. You're in a different conversation than I know more about refrigerators than I know about. That's not true. Why are you so aggressive? See, this is what we're talking about here. Is that people it's a vibe. Catch a vibe, buddy. We're having a good time.
Don't worry, we don't hate each other. We live together.
We battle to death sometimes.
We do.
But, it is what it is. You broke my lightsaber this week.
It was already breaking.
It was already broken, but we broke it a whole lot more. Anyways, I can't. It's hard to keep a time code now, so I guess we're not doing that.
Yep.
Moving on. Topic number 3. Hello, my love.
You gotta fucking piss again?
No, she just wants attention. All right, go down. Go lie down. Lie down. Okay, I'll play with you in a little bit, okay? No, I won't. I'll be busy editing this podcast. Moving on. Topic number 3, my second penny of the day. Former Activision dev claims Crash Bandicoot 5 was canceled. This is from Brian Cronin over at Comic Book Radar. Is that the name of this site?
Comic Book Resources. They changed it.
Was it Radar?
No.
Games Radar.
Games Radar is different. Yeah,
but it was Comic Book something else.
It was Comic Book. Site. It was something different. Yeah, and they rebranded.
Oh, did they really?
I can't remember what the name was.
Oh. The legendary 3D game character Crash Bandicoot finally had the 4th game in the franchise released back in 2020-2021. Can you not just Google when the game released, bro? Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. That has been in late release. That has been the last release in the series since. But a former game developer who worked for Toys for Bob, the former Activision studio that developed the fourth Crash Bandicoot game, and has since split off on its own, has revealed on social media that there had been plans for Crash Bandicoot 5 and that the studio was close to announcing it when the project was scrapped. Crash Bandicoot debuted in 1996 as a PlayStation exclusive game. Okay, all right. Thank you for the follow. Plans for the Crash Bandicoot 5 were first hinted at back in 2022, soon after the release of Crash Bandicoot 4, with some jokes about the possible announcement of a 5th game made during a podcast. However, it appears those jokes were actual legit hints as to what Toys for Bob had planned. It all started when the game developer Nicholas Cole shared on social media that a mysterious, quote, Project Dragon game was now dead. Naturally, fans assumed that Cole was alluding to a project starring Activision's other beloved video game character, Spyro the Dragon. Cole corrected himself, noting, quote, "It is not Spyro, but someday folks will hear about the Crash 5 that never was and it's gonna break hearts."
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, think about that. I mean, not the most surprising thing in the world, I'm sure. Yeah, Crash 4, I think, did decent numbers, did pretty good. Yeah, it was well received and all that. The trilogy they did alongside the Spyro trilogy were all well received and sold well. I have no doubt that Toys for Bob wanted to do more, and hey, jump forward, 3-4 years, and they're doing more. They've got a deal going on. They're independent, but they've got a deal going on with Microsoft. You assume for Spyro the Dragon, this time around, not so much a Crash 5. And I think that's the right move. I think it's too early for a Crash 5. I think we should. These are franchises that are kind of based in nostalgia, but also can find new roots and new fans today. But I think it's important to kind of let us miss them a little bit. I think the problem with those games back in the day is that they would come out fast, like a year apart, each one, and so they didn't have time to really come up with new ideas or new plans or new game mechanics or anything like that. They didn't let it gestate. It was kind of like all guns blazing. Now, back then, games development time was so short that you could turn those things around that fast and they would still be really good games. But today, I think it's okay if we wait on a Crash 5. And, it's unfortunate that this happened. I'm sure whatever Crash 5 they were working on was going to be awesome. But, I think things all kind of work out that way, and now we're going to get more, right?
Yeah. Damn, that surprised the hell. I was like, Did I do something wrong?
Did that hit the desktop audio? I don't even know. Matt Cole is talking. Okay. What is your favorite band? Yeah. Not what we're talking about. Anyways.
Pink Floyd.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Connor, Crash Bandicoot.
I don't really have a connection to it, so I'm certainly not broken up about this. But it does make sense for these games to be kind of spaced out.
Yeah.
Because, Toys for Bob, they did a really good job bringing Crash 4 back. But if Spyro is the game that they're coming out with next, see what they were handed.
Of course, Crash 5 canceled when they were under Activision and then turned into a Call of Duty studio and then freed from the shackles of parent companies via Xbox and Xbox letting them go and stuff like that. So, this is a good time. I think Toys for Bob is in a good space right now.
No, I think they are. I'm happy they have the creative freedom to decide what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that deal that they struck with Microsoft to work on one of their IPs, you assume it's Spyro or Crash, probably Spyro.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, this is all good times, good things, good. It all worked out in this case, and that's exciting.
It basically just reminded me of the Toys for Bob story because I forget they just separated themselves from possibly being laid off by their shitty company.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. But good for them.
Yeah,
Moving on to our final topic of the day, Connor, your second penny of the day. Take it away, my friend.
Got an article here from comicbook.com. Halo report reveals early info on the next game in the series. This is from Logan Moore. Jesus,
I'm dealing with a thing here. It's a whole thing.
A lot of dogs. A lot of dog action. New details on the future of the Halo series at Xbox have come about from a notable leaker. Following the launch of Halo Infinite back in 2021, questions have continued to linger when it comes to what's next for Xbox's flagship franchise. Generally speaking, Infinite didn't reach the heights that Xbox and developer 343 Industries hoped it would, which has since led to a change in direction for the first-person shooter IP. Now, some early insight into upcoming Halo plans for Halo have emerged, and they aren't necessarily encouraging. In an extensive thread from @Bathrobecast on X, formerly Twitter, new information about Halo and what has been happening behind the scenes at 343 has been revealed. The report claims that after Halo Infinite's launch, many developers ended up leaving 343 Industries. While this is normal to some degree, the voluntary departures have been combined with layoffs and contractors not being converted to full employees. As a result, 343 is said to have slimmed down to a team that's less than 300 people in total, the majority of which is said to consist of team members tied to business aspects of the company. As for the next Halo game, it's said that 2 entries in the series are in the works right now. Both games are still very early in development and are merely in pre-production, with one seemingly being tied to PvP gameplay. The other is assumed to be a new mainline Halo installment of some sort that could take place after the events of Halo Infinite. However, this project still seems to be incredibly far off, as 343 is retooling its development and production methods.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this to me is the potential 2 different games that are coming from this. One being PvP/multiplayer focused, and then the other hopefully just kind of being single player focused and then breaking off and just separating those 2 things entirely. I think that's a good idea. I think that allows the 2 different teams to be detached from each other mechanically and to actually diversify single player versus multiplayer ideas and so forth. I think this will probably lead to the death of the single player campaign in Halo, or will allow us to do more than just a 3-4-3 game and have Halo diversify into different genres and stuff like that, which would be cool as well. I'm fairly certain the next game is not going to be a Halo Infinite sequel. From how the streets have been talking, the rumors and speculations, it seems like a Halo Combat Evolved remake is on the way, which
I don't think it's necessary at all.
Huh?
I think you had the Master Chief Collection, which was such a perfect package of being able to reinvent those original games while also being able to play it in their original form. I don't see the point in spending a bunch of resources on a remake like that. There's so many other.
You could actually make Halo 1 the great game that people say it is.
Well, they technically did already.
I mean, they didn't.
By the remake they already did the remake.
No, they didn't. That's a remaster, Connor. They just texture work. It's the same fucking video game.
Oh yeah. Still, that's all they need to do. We don't need a remake.
I mean, I lean to you. I lean towards your feeling. I'm not feeling the need for a Halo 1 remake either, but if they make some of those level designs a little bit better, make the story more concise and more consistent with what the franchise is, and have gameplay that is modern, I'd be interested to see what that is, just as like as a separate experience, not as a full package type thing. And then the interesting thing is what would that PvP thing become? It's interesting that the article doesn't mention that a large majority of the single player team got laid off. So that's really what the team where a lot of those numbers went away. But of course there have been departures as well on top of that. I don't know. It's Halo's in a weird place. I personally feel Halo constantly chasing modern stylings is what's hurting it. I mean, you look at Doom and what Doom's been doing. Doom's been operating fine, doing what Doom does, not doing what other modern first-person shooters are doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Halo should be taking that same type of direction as well, where they go, all right, everybody likes the first 3 to 4 games if you include Reach, Yeah. Everybody likes those games. Let's just do that. Like, let's stop with the sprinting. Let's stop with the custom loadouts. Let's stop with all the battle royales and game passes and what is the other thing they do? Season passes and stuff like that. Like, let's harken back to why people like Halo multiplayer, and it's for tight-knit gameplay.
And that makes all the more sense when you look at Infinite's multiplayer. I don't think there has been, in the multiplayer space, a bigger failure and drop than Halo Infinite. I mean, you had all of this momentum behind
100% disagree.
No, I totally agree with that. I totally
you said
stand behind that.
Yeah.
Its reason is because they had a base of players that they caught with Infinite's fun gameplay, particularly the online, was very fun. But after about 2 years, you look at that game and very little changed of substantial worth. You're
right on that, Elliott.
Yeah. And that's the problem, is that's what people expect with a multiplayer game. And when you come in with one that has a nice base to it, but then you do nothing to build on top of it, they lost all their momentum. And no one really talks about Halo Infinite being the big PvP game. And it's not because the game itself didn't function well as one.
It's a very well-made game. It's very good.
And I don't think they've proven themselves in the PvP arena yet. And so I think having a game on its own just be entirely PvP can allow you to have a roadmap, do some of the things you were saying. Because I saw you made a post on Twitter a while ago about how the lack of a sprint was intentional in the past, and it worked within the confines of the game and the flow of the game. That's absolutely true. I think if you were to try and go back to that, you can get some of that.
Sprint also didn't exist in those first couple Halo games. By the time you get to Halo 3, it did, but they still don't have it for a reason.
I'm thinking more of Halo 3 because I think that was, at least this is my bias coming into play, was one of the biggest multiplayer Halo experiences. And part of that might be just getting the old gameplay of Halo back in the flow of things.
Yeah.
And this is the best chance for them to do it. But, it's such a divestment from what they usually have done with Halo. Ever since 2001, it might not pay off. But I hope it does, because I would like it to have, a tighter campaign, because I wasn't a big fan of Infinites. I think, once again, in all of the veins of sprinting, loadouts, and whatnot, they said, hey, open world games, those are big, and they did that.
Stop.
And Halo
did
not work with it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
I'll say it after, I had no interest to go back into that game because the plot wasn't engaging enough, and it's set in a world where you have to go long distances of,
nothing.
Yeah. Whereas in Halo,
I didn't dislike the choices made in Infinite gameplay wise. I thought it was cool and
gameplay
all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an empty world, but it was cool not having loading screens, and driving to the level.
That's true.
And type stuff. So that stuff was cool, but I just don't think it works for Halo. I think Halo needs to. I'm not someone who typically says go back to the old stuff. I'm usually like, let's evolve, let's change it, let's do something new. But Halo, I kind of feel like you should kind of go back to the old stuff. Make choices. Give yourself a unique identity, and your identity is rooted in the past, and that's fine. Take some notes from Doom. What is Doom known for? High-paced or very fast-paced, high-quality first-person shooting, lots of enemies, big guns, and intricate level designs.
Yeah.
Doom 16 and Doom Eternal are based around that. intricate level designs, fast-paced combat, and lots of enemies, lots of glowing orbs and stuff like that. They just stuck to what worked in the past and then but evolved it and brought it forward instead of diversifying what makes you and turning it into something that it isn't.
Yeah.
Even though I love it, I've pretty much enjoyed, with the exception of like 5, I've enjoyed every 343 Halo entry.
So have I. From the ones I played, I didn't play 5. I skipped that one. 4.
Good multiplayer.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Which, to your multiplayer point and the sprinting point, one of the cool things that made Halo 3 so much better than a lot of the other Halo multiplayers is it would force you to fight. In Infinite, with the sprint, I very often get into a combat scenario with somebody, and I like to stick fights out to the end. I think that's the most fun. The game, forcing you to engage and get all dirty and gritty with fighting somebody. In Halo Infinite, I would find getting into fights, and if they would get injured to a certain point and they could run away, they would run away. And with the sprint, I feel like they could do that more efficiently. In Halo 3, I recall whenever I would try to ditch from a fight, I would maybe get a little bit of breather when I turned around a corner, but since I'm only walking, any long distance I would have to go, any even medium distance to go, I could just easily get caught with my health half down, still recharging, and the guy comes around the corner and can shoot me. And I feel like I died a lot more when I tried to run away.
Yeah.
Whereas Infinite, it seems like it kind of rewarded me. Like, hey, you ran away, so you lived to fight another day. But it made it made things a lot less hectic. It's not really a big mark on Infinite's multiplayer because it still was very good with that sprint. But I think it's inferior when you compare it to not having it.
I disagree entirely that sprint is a necessary component of first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't think it's a necessary thing. I think if you base your general combat loop, your level design, and just your overall game design around the idea of you have a sprint or not, you can make a game totally fine with that. Do I think those old Halo games play slowly and probably movement speed needs to be a little faster? Yeah, it probably needs to be a little faster. Do I think sprint is the solution to that? No. I think just player walk speed is the solution to that.
Yeah.
On top of that, but like also on top of that, things like Halo 5 had a clamber, and Infinite has it too, right? Where you clamber up a ledge if you don't quite make the jump.
Yeah.
Those things I like. Those things are fine. Let's keep that. I just don't think Halo needs sprint.
Yeah, it's very core to, I think, what could make the game more fresh and set it apart from all the other ones.
Yeah.
You run and gun.
Yeah. Unique weapons, specific weapons, level design, map design, vehicle design, like just
there's
fun
game
reason
modes.
There's a reason 1, 2, and 3 are still held as the prime Halo games, even though debatably they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, Halo Infinite is the best playing Halo game ever. But it's not the best Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because it lost its identity.
Get back to your roots, baby.
Get back to it, and you'll find success in there again. I guarantee it. And also, I mean, you haven't tried going back from sprint.
You have not.
You know,
you've only just continued to do it.
The direction you've been going isn't working, so maybe go back. You know, when you're lost, Connor, do you just do you just double down and say, no, I'm going to dive deeper into being lost?
No.
Or do you go back and find, okay, wait, no. I lost it when I turned on third. That's when I got confused. So let me go back there and see if I can find where we go right. Exactly. You know, that's how life works. I miss Halo. You want to play some Infinite tonight?
No. But, it's still nice.
Coward.
I have to download games. I don't have that much
You don't have
space.
Infinite? First of all, why do you not have more space on your thing?
Because I have a lot of games downloaded.
What games do you have downloaded? What do you have downloaded?
Substantial enough. And also, things suck nowadays where everything's like 100 gigabytes.
That's very true.
98 gigabytes.
That's very true.
Like,
I've talked about, I think I've said it in the group chats. I'm thinking about playing Black Ops 6, but I'm not excited to download 350 gigabytes of bullshit,
At that point, you should just get like an external hard drive and just have it all on there.
This is the Call of Duty hard drive.
Pull it out when you need it.
Listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hey, I've got the USB ports for it.
So do I. If I did, I'd probably do that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the USB ports. I have the USB for it. Wait.
Well, but I have the extra.
Dock.
I got the dock.
Yeah, I don't have that.
You should get yourself one of those.
I should.
They're very handy. They're very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your Two Penny Gamescast episode 208. Make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and Let us know what you thought about all the topics we discussed today, something we may have missed, or just general evergreen topics down below so that we can have a audience to Penny's conversation happening next week. And until next time, have a great time. Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye and stay safe.